Amy Winehouse, and we have 20 to 8 on the nose here on BBC Radio Bristol. That's an interesting concept of what happens when you put an artist and a scientist together. What do they produce? Well, it's something that's been happening at the University of Bath, where a study of each other's methods has led to 5 original collaborations. Well, joining me now to explain more and tell us about a rather unique exhibition is Dr. Kit Yates, who's a researcher in mathematical sciences at Bath University. Morning to you, Kit.
Hi, Ali. Morning.
Morning, nice to talk to you. And to local artist Jean Baynham. Morning to you, Jean.
Morning.
Good morning. Now, I'm looking at your artwork flashing up on the website, which is on Fringe Arts Bath, and it's beautiful. Let's tell us a little bit. Kit, let's start with you, because this exhibition's going on, isn't it, at the university. Tell us how it came about. Do you know?
Well, it's the university's 50th anniversary this year, so there was a little bit of money swirling around. So the public engagement unit decided to apply for some of this money, and they put together this programme in collaboration with Fringe Arts Bath. And then they asked people in the university, researchers, to put together a proposal of how you might work with an artist, and then they asked artists to read these proposals and to apply to see if they could, if they wanted to work with these scientists, and then we were paired up, and then we started working together.
And Jean, what fascinated you about working with, well, if you don't mind me calling you, Kit, boffins?
I don't think they're boffins. I think, it's part of my practice as an artist that I work with. My work is influenced by mathematics. Mm-hmm. So when this opportunity came up, it was really exciting for me to have. I just thought to have access, to a mathematical department in a university.
And are you good at maths? Is that why that's your interest?
No.
Did I hear a laugh from you there, Kit?
No, that's the thing, though. I'm not good at maths, but that is what I'm trying to get over. Is that when I say I'm an artist and my work is inspired by mathematics, and people say, "Oh, I was hopeless at maths," and they also say, "Oh, I couldn't draw either. I'm hopeless that I can't draw." But the two things, it's not about that. It's so much more. And both things that are about ideas and creative thinking. And this is what I'm trying to get over with my work. I'm trying to bring the two things together.
And Kit, how difficult was it for you to kind of free yourself a little to think artistically?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think I try to do a bit of public engagement work around my research anyway, but
what sort of specialism do you have?
I'm a mathematician, but I'm a mathematical biologist in particular, which means that I take biological systems of interest, which might be a swarm of locusts, or it might be cells migrating in an embryo, and I try to make a mathematical model or representation of them using some equations or some computer simulations. So usually I try to work with experimental collaborators to build these sort of models. So working with Jean has been quite a different experience, but Jean has probed a bit more deeply into my work than most people usually do when I'm talking about it to the general public. So it's been a bit of a challenge to try and explain some of the deeper and harder concepts in a way that a non-expert would understand.
In a very simple way, Jean, describe what your work looks like now with the work that you've collaborated with Kit. This is radio, so we need to show. What does it look like?
Yeah. Well, it's a sculpture installation, which is the first time I've worked with Vivia, actually. Mm-hmm. And it's it's quite difficult because it kind of demystifies it a bit, and which is not what I want to do. I want to keep this mystery, but it's in a dark room, and you go in, and it's stacks of mushroom crates, actually plastic mushroom crates that greengrocers use, which is a very important part of my practice materials that I use. But they're just sort of thrown away, discarded items. But I've always had my eye on them because of the patterns, the structure that they're made of. So there's tall stacks of these crates in a dark room with a projection on of various different patterns that emerge from the mathematical research from the maths department.
I think it's really interesting what Jean was saying about the mushroom crates, in that they are really mathematical already. They have lattices basically all over them, which is sort of, I use lattices in my mathematical biology work to allow cells to move around in an embryo when I'm modelling them. So it's a really interesting media to use.
Well, listen, it sounds absolutely brilliant. You know, the thought of the two of you working together and just kind of exploring different things. I know there's been 5 collaborations. Where can people see the work?
So it's on at the Edge studio at the University of Bath until Wednesday the 25th.
And I know people who haven't been up to the uni for a while won't realise, but there are loads of things that you can go and see as a member of the public, and the Edge is one of those things that is open to many people, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. There's all sorts of things going on at the Edge all the time. It's a really interesting space for both visual and performance arts. Yeah, it's a fantastic place, so do come up.
The Edge is a fantastic venue.
Yeah, they're a very nice building as well, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it's on until the 25th, so you've got a few days to go and see it. But thank you both very much indeed for trying to put art and maths together.
Great, thanks, Alan.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Dr. Kit Yates and Jean Baynham, the artist, here on BBC Radio Bristol. It's at the Edge at the University of Bath at the Claverton Down until the 25th of January. Previously